Waheguru Ji Ka Khalsa, Waheguru Ji Ki Fateh. Welcome to this segment of Khoj Gurbani's a-sabad-a-day. The recitation for today, Gauri Mahalla Tija, composition of the third Nanak, Guru Amar Das, and the recitation. Gauri Mahalla Tija, is jug ka dharam padho tum bhai, pure gur sab soji pai. ਇੱਥੇ ਅੱਗੇ ਹਰ ਨਾਮ ਸਖਾਈ, ਰਾਮ ਪੜੋ ਮਨ ਕਰੋ ਵਿਚਾਰ, ਗੁਰ ਪ੍ਰਸਾਦੀ ਮੈਲ ਉਤਾਰ ਰਹਾਓ। ਵਾਦ ਵਿਰੋਧੇ ਨਾ ਪਾਇਆ ਜਾਏ, ਮਨ ਤਨ ਫੀਕਾ ਦੂਜੇ ਭਾਏ, ਗੁਰ ਕੈ ਸ਼ਬਦ ਸਚ ਲਿਵ ਲਾਏ। ਹਉ ਮੈਂ ਮੈਲਾ ਇਹੋ ਸੰਸਾਰਾ, ਨਿਤ ਤੀਰਥ ਨਾਵੈ ਨਾ ਜਾਏ ਅਹੰਕਾਰਾ, ਬਿਨ ਗੁਰ ਭੇਟੇ ਜਮ ਕਰੇ ਖੁਆਰਾ। ਸੋ ਜਨ ਸਾਚਾ ਜੇ ਹਉ ਮੈਂ ਮਾਰੈ, ਗੁਰ ਕੈ ਸ਼ਬਦ ਪੰਚ ਸੰਗਾਰੈ, ਆਪ ਤਰੈ ਸਗਲੇ ਕੁਲ ਤਾਰੈ। ਮਾਇਆ ਮੋਹ ਨਟ ਬਾਜੀ ਪਾਈ, ਮਨ ਮੁਖ ਅੰਧ ਰਹੇ ਲਿਪਟਾਈ, ਗੁਰਮੁਖ ਅਲਿਪਤ ਰਹੇ ਲਿਵਲਾਈ। ਬਹੁਤੇ ਭੇਖ ਕਰੇ ਭੇਖ ਧਾਰੀ, ਅੰਤਰ ਤ੍ਰਿਸ਼ਨਾ ਫਿਰੇ ਅਹੰਕਾਰੀ, ਆਪ ਨਾ ਚੀਨੈ ਬਾਜੀ ਹਾਰੀ। ਕਾਪੜ ਪਹਿਰ ਕਰੇ ਚਤੁਰਾਈ, ਮਾਇਆ ਮੋਹਿ ਅਤਿ ਭਰਮ ਬੁਲਾਈ, ਬਿਨ ਗੁਰ ਸੇਵੇ ਬਹੁਤ ਦੁਖ ਪਾਈ। ਨਾਮ ਰਤੇ ਸਦ ਬੈਰਾਗੀ, ਗ੍ਰਹਿ ਅੰਤਰ ਸਾਚ ਲਿਵ ਲਾਗੀ, ਨਾਨਕ ਸਤਿਗੁਰ ਸੇਵਹਿ ਸੇ ਵਡ ਭਾਗੀ। ਨਾਮ ਰਤੇ ਸਦਾ ਬੈਰਾਗੀ, ਗ੍ਰਹਿ ਅੰਤਰ ਸਾਚ ਲਿਵ ਲਾਗੀ, ਨਾਨਕ ਸਤਿਗੁਰ ਸੇਵਹਿ ਸੇ ਵਡ ਭਾਗੀ। Guru Ji is continuing with the theme of lifestyle. If you recall in the previous passage, he said that I have adopted the lifestyle of the Gurmukh. The Gurmukh. And Naam is central to it. Self-knowledge, wisdom is central to it. And that wisdom, the principle of that wisdom, is the Satgur. He is re-emphasizing that theme in this passage again, where he says, O brethren, my brothers, my sisters, understand the way of life for this age. In other words, wherever you might be, understand what the modus operandi and lingua franca of the day is. Is jug ka dharam Parahu Tum Bhai. Dharam literally means that which one holds on to, or that which holds things together, the law, the norm. And in Gurmat, it has shades of meaning. It is used for hukam. It is used for the inner moral imperative. It's also used for self-knowledge, depending on the context. The point being, is jugaga tarama pado. What that means is there is a certain way to be in the particular circumstance of your geographic, historical moment, wherever you happen to be. So if you're in the 21st century, as we are, as of this speaking, then the lingua franca of the day is technology, it's science, it's business. We live in a world where the scientific temper is dominant, prevalent. That is how we tend to see things. That is the way to really understand Gurmat. So that is what the Guru says. Understand the way of life for that particular moment when you exist. And so he goes on to say, from the true enlightener, I received the discernment of the wisdom of self-knowledge. Pure Gur Sab Soji Pai. Soji, discernment. It is associated with the wisdom faculty, which Gurmat calls buddhi or chit. Man buddh, man chit, ik hona. This is an aspect of the mind that can distinguish between what is real and what is unreal. It can separate things out. It is the capacity to discriminate. You see, so the man has to become one with another aspect of itself. You can think of it as the higher aspect, the buddh or the chit. They must come together to become what Gurbani calls Puran Brahm. And that is a fully integrated person, a Gurmukh. That is the way of the Gurmukh. That is what the Guru is instructing us. Ram padho man karho bichar, gur prasadi mail utar. So functionally, what you have to do is contemplate the self that resides in the mind. Man kara bichar. And by the grace of good wisdom, remove the conditioning of the ego home. So this is the paradigm shift that Guru Amar Das is pointing to. This is the paradigm shift that Guru Nanak brought about, the revolution of the mind. Because prior to them, the dominant mode was external, formalized ritual. That is what passed for religion. But Guru Nanak shifted that paradigm to say that you really have to self-actualize. That is the aim. Where the older systems, or the older practice rather, insisted on the right ritual, the right formula, the right mantra, and expected and was performed as if it were a transaction, a yajna, which is a transaction. I will offer you this in return for that. But in Sikhi, all of that changed. What was being desired from another source is now coming from within. Virtue is now developing within the mind of the individual. That is the revolution. Is Juga ka Dharam. And the rest of the passage is simply an expansion on this idea that you can go to pilgrimages, that you can engage in dialogue or scriptural discussion and hope to understand the self. No. Vada virodh na paya jai. Good wisdom cannot be cultivated through argumentation. Man tan fika duje paye. In the love of the other, that is sensory, the mind and body become frayed and insensitive. Only through an understanding of the message of the Gur, the enlightener, that you can become attuned to the truth of yourself. But that is, the world is still lost in ego consciousness. Haume mela iho sansara nit tirath nave. Ritual bathing every day, na jai ahankara, will not remove your self-conceit, even if you bathe at a pilgrimage every day. Nit tirath nave na jai ahankara, bin gur pete jam kare khwara. Without good wisdom, the ego's fear of death never quite leaves us. So jan sacha. That person has realized the self. Je haume mare, who dissolves the ego. Gur ke sabad panch sangare, through the wisdom of the gur, panch, the passions, controls the passions. Aapatare sagle kultare. Such a person not only reaches those rarefied heights, but also does good for society. Sagle kultare. Does something that is beneficial for the rest of society. And the Guru reminds us that the egocentric mind is blinded in its attachment to the drama of the world stage. Maya moho natbaji pai, manmukh and, blinded. Rahe laptai, stays attached. It is the Gurmukh, alpat rahe levelai. It is the Gurmukh who remains untouched and immersed in the self. So eventually, नाम रते सदा बैरागी ग्रह अंतर साच लिव लागी नानक सतगुर सेवे सेवड भागी. Fortunate are those who receive good wisdom, for they go about their affairs internally centered, externally driven, and they are soaked with love. On that note, until the next time, Vaheguru Ji Ka Khalsa, Vaheguru Ji Ki Fateh.